For the past 6 months, life had been feeling like a whirlwind for Vera, 22, a university art student with a deep love for old literature, horror films, and anything drenched in black velvet. Her slightly gothic style turned heads wherever she went. She always wore tight black corsets, short pleated skirts, and chunky lace-up boots. Her long black hair reached just past her breasts, slightly wavy and always neat with a thick fringe cut straight above her dark eyes. She loved her look. It gave her a sense of identity in a world she often found too loud. She had met Kane, 24, in one of her philosophy lectures the semester before. He was studying architecture and had a kind smile, tousled brown hair, and the kind of quiet humor she couldn't resist. Their relationship had been calm, comforting, though Kane's family had always intrigued her. Kane's mother, Ma, 47, had divorced long ago and lived alone in a modest but stylish villa on the outskirts of town. She worked from home as a freelance editor, always polished, always sharp-tongued, but never cruel. Her hairstyle reflected that energy. She had always worn a very short pixie, sharp and clean, like something off a Paris runway, similar to Anne Hathaway's iconic look. But it had been 3 months since her last cut, and the once perfect crop had grown into a soft, wild mop, curling and puffing in every direction. Ma didn't like salons. She preferred calling her trusted hairdresser, Mr. Johnson, 55, a soft-spoken professional with silver hair and a perfectly ironed black shirt, who carried his tools in a sleek leather suitcase and made house visits exclusively for his long-term clients. On one humid morning in early June, Ma called Kane with a favor. "I'm having Johnson come over on Saturday," she said.
I need the house cleaned up before he starts. Can you and your girlfriend help me?
Kane had looked over at Vera, who was sipping her black coffee slowly, reading a volume of The Picture of Dorian Gray. She nodded before he even finished the sentence. On Saturday afternoon, the sun was already high when they arrived at Ma's white-walled villa. The scent of lavender and lemon polish drifted from the open windows. "Finally," Ma said, opening the door in black linen trousers and a beige sleeveless blouse. Her black hair fluffed wildly around her head.
Come in. Come in, it's hot as hell, and I want this place tidy before he gets here.
Vera stepped inside, her usual outfit gleaming dark against the sunlight. A black corset trimmed with lace, a short ruffled skirt, fishnet stockings, and platform boots. She pulled her hair back loosely, already sweating under the warm sun. Ma gestured to the broom and mop leaning against the kitchen wall.
Kane, you sweep. Vera, you mop. I'll be in the kitchen with Johnson once he gets here.
"Got it," said Kane, grabbing the broom. Vera walked into the kitchen and froze for a second. A large block salon chair stood right in the center of the tiled floor, like a throne out of place. The rest of the kitchen was clean and sunny. Yellow cabinets, a wide wooden table, and white curtains fluttering near the window. But that chair, she blinked and said nothing, just filled the bucket with warm water and floor soap and began mopping quietly. Then the doorbell rang. Ma's voice echoed.
That's him.
She stepped up quickly and returned moments later with Mr. Johnson, dressed as always in a crisp dark white dress shirt tucked into black trousers. Hair perfectly combed back, he carried his suitcase confidently.
Oh, Johnson, this is Vera. She's my sister-in-law.
Vera turned with a slight smile, wiping her hands on a towel.
"Nice to meet you,"
said Mr. Johnson, politely, then paused as he looked at Vera's thick jet black hair.
Do we have 2 appointments today?"
Vera laughed softly, stepping back.
No, I'm just here to help clean.
"A shame." He smiled gently. "With that hair, well..."
"It's beautiful."
Vera nodded awkwardly, still clutching the towel. Ma sank into the salon chair with a dramatic sigh, waving a hand through her hair.
So, the same cut as usual?
He asked. "Yes," Ma replied, crossing her arms under the cape. "But I'm open to something a little different. I trust your hands." "I was thinking," he said as he attached a 15mm guard to his clipper, "we could try starting from the top this time, a bit fresher for the summer." Ma grinned. "Go for it." Vera stood to the side, mop in hand, watching. The clippers hummed to life. Mr. Johnson gently placed his hand on Ma's forehead, tilting her head back slightly. Then he brought the clippers down the center of her skull. From forehead to nape, a thick tuft of black hair fell to the cape with a soft thud. Ma closed her eyes. she's murmured, still smooth. Kane peeked in from the living room, broom in hand, watching. The clippers continued working from the crown outward. Strands of rings down, some curling as they landed, others long and soft. The kitchen floor slowly filled with hair. Vera couldn't take her eyes off it. "You're doing great, Ma," Mr. Johnson said. Ma chuckled. "I love this part. It's like therapy." Once the top and sides were buzzed down evenly, Mr. Johnson switched to scissors and a clipper with no guard. Moving in closer to shape the crop, he worked quickly but precisely, tapering the sides, sharpening the neckline. The back of Ma's neck appeared clean and smooth. Finally, he rubbed a bit of styling wax between his hands, then ran his fingers through the tiny layers, adding some subtle texture. A few spritzes of hairspray, and it was done. He removed the cape of the flourish and handed her a mirror. Ma studied herself with a smirk. "That's the one." She ran her fingers over the new pixie. Short sculpted sides, slightly tousled on top, just enough to show movement but no fluff. "Feels like summer again." Vera looked down at the mop. Her own thick hair brushed against her ribs. She touched it, uncertain why she suddenly felt so aware of it. As Ma admired her fresh pixie in the mirror, her fingers tracing the short strands along her temples, Vera remained near the kitchen counter, her eyes fixed not on the mop, but on the soft black clumps scattered across the floor. They looked so weightless, almost like feathers. The kitchen smelled faintly of hairspray and lavender, strangely calming. Mr. Johnson began to pack up his tools with methodical grace.
Wiping each item clean and placing it back into the suitcase one by one.
He glanced towards Vera again as he closed the lid. "You're sure you don't want to try something new?" he asked gently. "Even a trim could lighten the weight in this heat." Vera hesitated, then gave a small nervous laugh.
I think I'd rather melt than lose a strand.
Ma raised an eyebrow.
Oh, come on, Vera. You'd look stunning with a sharp cut. You've got the cheekbones for it.
Vera flushed slightly, brushing her long fringe to the side.
I've had this hair forever. It's kind of me.
Kane walked in from the hallway holding the broom in one hand and a smirk on his face. "You say that like you're carved from obsidian." "She's almost is," Ma said with a grin, still admiring herself in the mirror. "But obsidian could use a polish sometimes." Vera chuckled, then shifted her eyes back toward the clippers on the table, the blade still slightly warm. Mr. Johnson caught the glance.
It doesn't have to be drastic. I've seen a lot of girls go from long to short and absolutely shine afterward.
Vera cleared her throat.
I appreciate that, really. But no, I just came to help clean.
Mr. Johnson nodded, his voice calm.
Of course, no pressure at all.
But the conversation lingered, like the scent of hair product in the warm air. Even after Mr. Johnson left and Ma swept her hands through her new crop again, there was something left unsaid hanging in the room. As Kane took the broom to gather the fallen strands, Vera crouched beside the mop bucket, wringing out the dirty water. She caught her reflection in the oven door, her long black hair spilling down, her thick fringe nearly touching her eyebrows. Ma, still sitting on the black chair, spoke casually. "You know, Vera," she said, twirling her fork, "I had hair just like yours at your age." Vera looked over her shoulder.
Really?
It made me feel strong, mysterious. Then one summer, I was so frustrated with it, always sticking to my back, getting in my mouth when the wind blew. I told my hairdresser to take it all off.
She smiled.
Best decision I ever made.
I saw my face for the first time in years. Vera was quiet. Kane walked over to her.
You okay?
She nodded.
Yeah, just thinking.
"You don't have to do anything," he said, lowering his voice, "but I think you'd look great no matter what." Vera gave him a shy glance, then returned to cleaning.
But in her mind, something had shifted. She could still hear the sound of the clippers, still see the pieces of hair falling in slow motion. A part of her was repelled, and another strangely curious. Later that evening, after the house was spotless and the sunlight had faded from gold to violet, Ma invited them to stay for dinner. The three of them sat at the table in the kitchen, the black chair now back in the corner. Mr. Johnson long gone. As they ate grilled vegetables and pasta, Ma leaned in. "You know, Vera," she said, twirling her fork, "sometimes change doesn't come when you're ready for it. It just shows up and dares you to follow." Vera smiled, looking down at her plate. That sounds like something out of a movie. Ma shrugged. Maybe, but it's true. After dinner, Vera went to the bathroom to wash her hands. She caught her reflection again. The thick fringe, the dark waves. She stared for a long time. When she returned, she looked toward Ma. Do you think if I ever decided to cut it, would he come here again? Ma didn't answer right away. She smiled.
I'm sure he'd make time.